Kingdom, ACU crew, it's Wednesday War Room. We are back at you with another Wednesday War Room for that ass.
Yes. What's up?
What's
going on, Mike? Nothing, man. Trying to get over this funk I got.
The funk is real.
Still been kicking my butt, bro.
Your body, like, you've been tested negative for everything.
I did.
COVID, flu, strep. They can't find the thing. Is your body? Is it like a Chinese laboratory? Are you creating something new in there? You're about to
might be patient. I'm patient zero, bro. I'm getting ready to put out the new pandemic.
Patient X, baby, over here. They don't tell him what he's about to spread.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you doing?
It's been a little rough though, I have to say. Yesterday was definitely my worst day, I think, but I don't know.
Hey,
it's all up. It's all downhill from here, bro.
Hey, look, let's talk a little Chiefs. It's Wednesday War Room. Glad you guys are here with us. Boy, people, all week long, we're starting to see the Felix. Felix is a bust.
Yeah.
So we asked the question, is Felix a bust? And just asking the question is getting people fired up. They're fired up, Steve, because we've asked the question now. We have already considered that he is a bust. That's not the way that works. Just ask the question. Steve, do you think Felix is a bust?
No. I can't say that about him. No, I can't. Real quick, just long story short, I think that Felix gets that negative connotation because he was a first-round pick. And it's like, our first-round picks are basically second-round picks. Let's get that straight. And people think when you're a first-round pick that you should have instant results. That's just what they expect from a first-round pick with good reason. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I just don't think so. I think that Felix is going to take time to develop. I think that they're taking him slower than they even did George. And for whatever reason, I don't think I would call him a bust. I think when I've seen him play, he's been fairly effective. Yeah, he could have been better. Missed some contains here and there. I think it's little things, man. I think he'll earn more playing time. I think he'll get better. I would not go as far to call him a bust yet.
Right. I agree. I'm seeing Chief Kelsey. He says, I'm showing 1,000 likes already.
That's impossible.
My side is showing the same.
What?
Look, dude, we have had some weird occurrences going on with our YouTube lately. So these are not accurate. Like what you're seeing are not real time. I have no idea what's going on. We've been releasing shorts that are private, and they're getting views while they're private. No idea. Like I don't know what's going on. Something
It's
crazy
probably the
happening.
same. It's probably the same freaking losers that like
Right.
got us tagged for reuse content, even though we don't reuse content. It's probably the same losers doing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if we buy them some likes on a video, YouTube will think they're trying to cheat the
so
system.
either somebody's messing with us or YouTube's just flat out being crazy, and I don't know what it is. So we've not really. This has kind of been the struggle with a lot of things. Like we haven't been able to go live. One of the nights we couldn't go live. We're dealing with the craziest stuff. Like I don't know if our YouTube is just glitched out. I don't know if we don't know what's going on at this point. Like we're trying to get answers and we just aren't getting answers. So we're just rolling with it and we don't care. So yeah, Cobra Kai would be freaking out right now. He'd be throwing out some stuff. But, no.
If he could give out memberships, he would give out 100 right now.
Right. So more than likely that's not an accurate number, and it probably will tick down once the video go live or whatever. Like, I don't know. But yeah, everything's crazy right now. So pay no mind to it.
Hey, Wayne says he don't want to discuss your private shorts, Mike.
Yeah. I don't either.
Do you think, are your private shorts anything like that guy that was on the sidelines that got hit? Did you see that?
Dude, Thonggate, bro.
Why was the dude wearing a thong? What was happening?
How was he out there in the red thong? Was it really
They
red
claim
thong,
it wasn't.
or?
They're claiming it wasn't, but I don't know. There was definitely no sides to those underwear. I don't know what he's wearing.
What do you think it was? Was it a jock strap?
Dude, I don't know. He was just like a staff person. Why would he be wearing a jock?
Right. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know. Like, just so much crazy stuff's happening. There must be like a full moon. Actually, there was a big old fat full moon here over the past week. So maybe just the tides have shifted in the world. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, let me get back to Felix. Felix, I don't think Felix is a bust either. Okay, look, I started a firestorm today because I compared him to George Karlaftis over his first 9 games. Okay, yes, there was a bunch of snap differential. It was like 400 and something, like 130 something. Okay, cool. I put that back in context and said, look, it shrinks the numbers down a little bit. It puts them closer to par. But the point I was trying to get at wasn't trying to take a side and say, look, George is better, Felix is a bust. I wasn't trying to start a firestorm. I literally just was comparing the two at this point in the season. And okay, I should have been a little smarter to have just went ahead and did the snap counts, but I didn't.
It doesn't matter. I think utilization is a big part of it.
Right, because that's what I was going to say.
Is it not?
So
I mean,
Felix actually got more snaps than we thought he was going to get earlier in the year because of the Omenahue suspension for 6 games, because of some injuries, because of Chris Jones holding out. And he actually got a lot of snaps. And so over the past 4 to 5 weeks, though, his snaps have been dwindling. And I get it. Mike Dan has stepped up pretty well. He's getting ready to hit double-digit sacks, like we said. You've got, Chris Jones is back, whatever. You got Omenahue's back. I understand fully that snap count does play into it. But at the same time, he had his chances to be on the field, and it didn't make enough of an impression to keep him on the field. And for the last 4 weeks, they're declining. Against the Dolphins, week 9, he played 4 snaps, had his season low score ranking, and had 1 busted play on that out of 4 that ended up chunking off a huge gain. So, I don't think he's a bust.
I do think
he needs more time.
We actually thought he was going to have a huge opportunity with Omenahue being suspended for 6 games to like get some work early, and that didn't happen. So that's kind of odd. But I think a lot to do with that is the fact that Mike Dana was healthy this season, and he's been damn good. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. I do not think Felix is a bust. So yeah, that's a hot topic going around on X and things like that. We figured we'd address it a little bit, but we don't consider him a bust. But he's definitely like not performed up or had the opportunity to even do so of what you would think from a first round pick. Right.
Yeah, I totally agree. What do I think it is? Like, what do I think is the problem with Felix? Honestly, in my opinion, I think Felix was a 2nd round talent. Now, I do believe he had better intangibles right away than Karlaftis.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. Karlaftis was literally the reason Karlaftis struggled to get going is because he was about a half a step slow. You're still seeing it a little bit, but now he's worked with Tamba. I think now that you see Felix get a full year under his belt, most pass rushers don't really come into their own until year 2 and 3 and 4. So
Right.
I'm not worried about him, but I do think he just needs more time. And to be honest, with a Minihue playing at a high level, with Dana playing at a high level, if Karlaftis is playing better this year, we're deep enough that I think maybe his play from here out may be limited, and so that may put him behind the 8 ball just a little bit about developing. Not to mention he missed a little bit of camp. He had that issue he was working with early in camp. So yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I don't think it's vital, but I think it's fair to ask the question, like, hey, was he picked too early? I'll agree. He's probably more of a second-round pick. He probably is. But where we're picking, which was dead last, that's basically a second-round pick. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's it in a nutshell, man. With George Karlaftis, though, just to touch on that for 1 second, and then we'll move forward. We'll start taking some questions and stuff. But, man, like, George, you can't just gain a step, really. As a big guy like that, it's very tough to get that much faster where you're going to gain a half step or a step. But George, his handwork after working with Tamba this offseason is so much better. He's getting through quicker. Like, he's making up for that time in other ways, and it's paying off big time.
Yeah, I agree. To me, Karlaftis done exactly what I thought he was going to do. He come in his first year, his numbers didn't jump off the thing, but what did he do? It was effort plays, it was a lot of hurries, and that was the big one. So through, like, I think I went ahead and compared the two. So I didn't take the 9 games, which actually Karlaftis would have only played 8 games to this point. But I went ahead and just compared, well, what happens now if you do the snap count? So I think the snap count ended up being 126 for Felix, 384 for George. So right at a little over 2 times, maybe 3 times, probably about 3 times the snaps. But the hurries is the one thing that jumps off the page at you, because Felix in 126 snaps had 1 hurry and George had 19. Right. So George had 19 times his hurries, and people were dogging George the entire season, saying that he sucked. RGR said we shouldn't have drafted him. He was a bust. He's too slow. He can't be elite. But then all of a sudden now, Felix gets 1 in the same amount of snaps.
Right.
And it's like, okay, there's cause for concern a little bit, but I do believe it's just because he's young and he just needs more time to develop. And in no way do I think he's a bust. I like Felix, and I think Felix will be a good football player here.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick before we move on, just want to say thanks for joining us today. Hit the like button if you haven't. You can join the other 2,000 people that's already done that, apparently. That would be great. Also, we just got done working on a new podcast for the Patreon. Just got done with that. So that'll be dropping probably late tonight, early in the morning. So if you are a member on Patreon, be on the lookout for that. If you're not, what are you waiting for? Patreon.com/allchievedup. It's $10 a month. You get bonus episodes every week, and it helps kind of supplement the whole YouTube ridiculousness. But appreciate you guys that have done that so far. But yeah, shout out everybody that's here. Appreciate you guys. And let's go ahead and see if we got some questions rolling already, man. We can go ahead and
let's bring this one
jump on some of that.
KC fan, what's up, brother?
What's
he
up,
says,
man?
Hey, Mike and Steve, I'm just passing through your stream. My mom last night had a large hemorrhage that caused her to have a stroke. Doctors don't think she'll make it. I need prayer support. Prayers for KC fan, everybody. That's rough. Like, me and Steve, thank to God, have not had to deal with some issues like this with our parents. Dread the day, but it's life, and it's one of those things we're all eventually going to have to deal with. But prayers for that, and I hope everything turns out good for you, man. I hope that miracles happen. You know, maybe a miracle will happen there.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, you're in the right place. We got good people in the chat that support you. But hate to hear that.
Right. Brian Parrott says, according to Chief Concerns, all positions are performing above average. Probably. I've not actually looked. We looked today. I posted something on X, and people didn't like it, about Tooney having 19 pressures to this point in the season, which is 3 more than his high ever playing for KC, and he got it in 9 weeks before we even go to the bye. Boy, people ran me down the road. They were like, well, he's still number 1 in pass blocking.
Right.
Okay, but at the same time, how are you rated so high in pass blocking, but you got 19 hurries? Steve, they didn't apologize to Orlando Brown. I guess hurries don't matter in your pass blocking scores.
Whichever way it fits your narrative, that's the way you can use it. Okay.
True.
This is what we've learned.
I hear you.
Saw another question I want to grab, but I lost track. All right. Pono, what's up, my man? He says, get rid of Nagy, bring in Josh McDaniels, lousy as a head coach, but brilliant offensive coordinator like he was with the Patriots. I'm going to go with no and no on this one, Pono. 2 reasons. A, I don't think Matt Nagy has as big of a hand in the offensive struggles as people think. I think, yeah, he owns a piece of that pie, but I don't think it's all him. I think it'll be just fine. Just give it time. And as far as Josh McDaniels goes, man, I've seen too much stuff about even his own players talking about how he was just a big cheater,
Right.
and they outed him. Like he was watching people's practices, he was doing everything you're not supposed to do, and that's what made him look so good as an offensive coordinator. But yeah, and you see what happens after he gets out on his own, can't cheat no more. They get caught with the Spygate. He's nothing. So I mean, that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I'm not. I think it's unfair to just blame all this on Nagy.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Look, we were the first last year that when we were struggling, we were like, look, be enemy, blah 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 blah. Like
Could be,
we
but we don't know
down the road.
Yeah.
But as soon as the retort was, be enemy, don't call plays. Andy calls the plays. Be enemy, don't do it. So now, why is Nagy assumed to be calling the plays? I don't think Nagy's calling them either. If Bieniemy wasn't calling them, Nagy ain't calling them. I do think that the disconnect is Bieniemy was more strict. Nagy's more of a players kind of guy, and maybe he's not being as hard on him in situations he should be. I think that's the disconnect. But look, Nagy's been with this team before, and he's been with Mahomes before plenty of times, and I just don't feel like magically he leaves and goes to the Bears and just comes back broken. I just don't know if that's the case.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that's it. I think everything will be just fine. It's just the early season struggles that the Chiefs have every year in one way or another, and they'll get it together. Andy will get his house in order. That's what he does. That's why he's the best of the best.
For sure. Chief KT says, do y'all think Trey Smith's last year, he's been struggling a little bit? Actually, me and Steve just talked about this a little bit on the Patreon. We'll dive into it more over there. So if you want to go over there and listen, but either way, I dug up a stat today that Trey Smith was actually the number 3rd highest rated guard in week 9 versus the Dolphins. And if you go back to week 6 to now, which is over the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's actually the highest rated guard in all the NFL per PFF. So he always starts slow every year and then he kind of turns it on. But like Steve says, even with Creed, sometimes these interior offensive linemen are the easiest to draft. They are the easiest to translate over. So maybe they are a little more expendable.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like I don't think any of them are untouchable. So I mean, nothing would surprise me. I do think that they'll try to keep Creed around. He's pretty daggone solid, obviously, but I just think people that aren't Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they're not untouchable. I mean, whatever Brett Veach is going to do to free up money to fix whatever issues he thinks the team has, that's what he's going to do.
Right.
But I do think Trey Smith has played good. He started a little slow this year, but he's had a good season so far. He's still Trey Smith. He's still out there being mean, pancaking people, and doing what he got to do. So,
right. Steve, good to see you, brother. He says run defense still needs work. I'll agree, but I'll also say this: the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken, let me get this right because I don't want to say it wrong. The Dolphins were the number 1. I want to say the number 1 or maybe the number 2. I want to get it right. Okay, so the Dolphins were the number 1 rushing defense going into week 9. The Chiefs defense held the Dolphins, the number 1 rushing defense, to 117 yards on 21 attempts.
Are you saying the number 1 rushing offense? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the number 1 rushing offense. My bad. So the Dolphins are the number 1 rushing offense. We held the number 1 rushing offense to 117 yards on 21 attempts. And by the way, if you pull out Raheem Mostert's 2 late runs there late in the game on that final drive when we were playing a pretty big defense where nobody thought they were going to run the ball, he chunked off 25 and 19. So if you pull those off, and we'll just say off for no gain or that those don't even happen, Like, I'm not going to estimate what I think he should have got if they were in a run defense. But the point is, they would only be held to 73 yards on 19 carries.
Well, there's a couple
so
different things. There's a couple different things. Like you said,
to it.
You take away those 2 huge runs there at the end. I think they were sitting in a dime or something like that, and they were just running some inside zone. We weren't expecting them to run, right? So, like, yeah, you take that out, but then you also got to factor in the defense was on the field almost the entire second half. So, like, when a team gets wore down like that, them chunking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards on a run, that's not unheard of when your team's just gassed. So there's a lot of factors, and also the big one, Nick Bolton's not playing, and I think he's one of our better run defenders. So
1,000%. Chris Wright says, "What's up, ACU fam?" Chris, what's going
what's
on,
up,
brother?
Chris?
I feel like we haven't got to hang out with you guys as much ever since YouTube's been messing with us. And like, we've still done about the right amount of lives. I think we've had to cancel one Wednesday and one Saturday. And I noticed we're not getting to do a lot of the longer episodes throughout the week. Like, we're being able to do shorts and lives,
man.
But it's tough to find the time because me and Steve we had to pick up jobs to get through this because all of our income left. And so our schedules don't line up a lot. So we don't get to record that long form video because you got to remember, if we record for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's another hour and a half, 2 hours editing. And so
that's being generous.
Right. And that's being kind of generous. So that's the thing. Like, we're not getting to do that, but we are going to try to get that together as much as we can mesh our schedules here soon. We're going to try to do this probably coming up next week. We're going to try to start getting out at least maybe 2 long form videos per week, still keeping our lives, still doing our shorts.
Right.
But it's felt like we've not got to hang with everybody as long, Steve. It feels like we haven't got to, like, interact with people. But
we also had to dedicate
part of the YouTube punishment.
Yeah, part of it. I mean, we also we have to dedicate time to Patreon now. So it's like, we have to put out around an hour episode a week over on Patreon, just to kind of supplement, But yeah, it's definitely been a thing, man. When we had to pick up extra work and schedules have been tough.
Man,
and on top of that,
fun.
Everybody's been getting sick. It's been a time.
Yeah, remember, I just had a sinus infection for 2 weeks. Now Steve caught something that's man-made. We don't even know. Steve's creating that one. He's trying to take us out. Take us out. Steve, if they found out that some kind of zombie apocalypse comes out of Fort Knox Radcliffe, you are the guy we're looking for.
Hey, right on time, Josh Zimbeller. Wow, this one's early tonight. It's because it's work schedules. Yeah. Work schedules. So yeah, YouTube kind of they definitely gave us the shaft. But
hey, look, we're
making it work.
Though.
We're making it work.
We're 5 weeks into this. Okay, look, we just had to eventually say, look, we're not getting answers. They told us we have to just be demonetized for 3 months, and you get nothing. So me and Steve said, look, you got 2 things. You can cry about it, or you can just put your head down and go through it and do what you can do. And that's the route we're taking. Right now, we can control how many shorts that we can put out, which I can do those throughout the day. Steve's usually at work during the day, and then I work at night, and Steve's usually not. So we're just doing what we can do, and we're going on, and we're 5 weeks in, and we got another probably like 8-9 weeks to go. But guess what? We're going to get through it, and we're going to be bigger and better. And we're still on the way to 20K, by the way. We're almost to like what, 16.5? We're close somewhere in that range.
We're getting there, man. Like it's gonna be a grind. It's been a grind, but that's what we do. This
KWL.
We've been grinding since the beginning. Yeah, I appreciate that, KW.
KWL. The shorts are the bomb. I appreciate it, man. I try. It's tough. The week I had the sinus infection, man, everybody was letting me know. Dude, your voice. What's wrong? You sniffly? Yeah, I am sniffly, bro. You want to come take it? Like, I don't want this, but I have to work.
Right, yeah. No, you should just take off 2 weeks when you're sick, bro.
Yeah, I'm not doing
Just don't do nothing.
And by the way, I think Brian Parent told me to sniff nasal spray. You know what's funny? Technically, the doctor told me I shouldn't take nasal spray. It interacts with one of my medicines, but I still took it anyway. But the thing about nasal spray is it doesn't work when your nose is clogged. How do you sniff it up your nose if your sinuses are swollen shut?
Just dump it in there and hold your head upside down and pray for the best.
And I ended up choking, almost passed out. Dude, I was trying everything, bro. I was hanging upside down like a bat. I was drinking Theraflu like through a straw. I couldn't kick it, man.
Jeff, gotta calm down, bro. You gotta calm down a little bit. It'll be all right. Obviously, CD Lamb would never give up CD Lamb. Dallas wouldn't for that. But hey, everybody can wish.
Hey, he said he's seen someone say trade MVS and Skymore for CD Lamb.
Yeah, so that's Jeff what I'm saying.
Jeff doesn't think that's gonna happen. Look, that ain't gonna happen, Jeff. You're right. You're totally right. Well, here's the thing. I don't care who would trade what. You cannot trade anymore. We're past the trade deadline. So we got what we got, and we got what we got. 360 people in here watching right now. Appreciate everybody coming in at 625, 525 in the Midwest, and just hanging out with us for a little bit, man.
Yeah, for
Talking
sure.
some Chief football, Steve. And go ahead and hit that like button. I know it's showing 1.2K, but like I said, YouTube's been wonky, so they'll probably take half that off. They'll probably put half of it back on. They don't know what they want to do. It's crazy, so don't mind it. Just click the like if you haven't clicked it yet, and it'll work itself out. That's what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Lewis, what's up, my man? He says, how much sleep has Hill lost since he didn't even make the 200 yards receiving? I tell you, personally, I don't think Tyreek Hill's lost any sleep. Probably sleeping real good in his big pile of money over there, like Scrooge McDuck or whatever. But,
yeah.
I mean, the thing about it is, like, do you think – I really don't think it will, but do you think this would, like, kind of, like, humble him a bit?
No.
I don't think it will either. I just think he's one of those
short
people.
And sweet. It ain't going to humble him.
Yeah.
This guy is just – look, Tyreek is – okay, look, he's got little man syndrome just a little bit. But at the same time, that's what makes Tyreek Tyreek. It's kind of the same way that Deion Sanders. If you get beat, you got to forget it. You got to be the baddest guy in the room. And if you don't tell yourself that and you don't have confidence playing in the NFL, you're going to get ran over.
Right. Brent, so Jeff was saying that there's no way in hell that the Dallas Cowboys would trade CeeDee Lamb for MVS and Sky Moore, which is 100% true. He wasn't saying that that was bad for the Chiefs. But, you know, I don't even know why people's talking about trades at this point. We're past that. Like we are what we are. It's time to make that postseason run and get the job done. So I think we got a good shot at it this year for sure, guys. Like we've been predicting the back-to-back, and that was before we knew the defense was going to be as good as they are. We thought they could be top 5, Mike, but geez, man, they're like outpacing that.
Yeah, they hit top 5 way faster than we thought they were going to. I mean, usually Spags defenses, they take a little while to gel, but look, this is what happens when you get people back over and over on the defense a little bit. And, you know, rookies become second-year guys, and they know the playbook a little better, and they know each other better. But that leads me to a question. I was reading this today. Somebody said, do you think Spags will get another head coaching opportunity, Steve? What do you think? You think this is the year that Spags finishes with the top 5? Maybe we win the Super Bowl. Maybe we don't. Either way, we're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to win the West. And this is going to be a good defense by year's end. Do you think he might get a head coaching job this year?
I selfishly hope he doesn't. But the thing about it is he's expressed interest in being a head coach again, and he's doing the damn thing. He's killing it. So, I mean, I think he rightfully should probably somebody take a look at him. But we'll see. I don't know. It just really depends. A lot of people thought Eric Bieniemy was going to get a coach offer, and he just never did. So, who knows? Who knows how it's going to go? I'd hate to see him go right now, though. Our defense has been so good. I mean, with Spags in town, what is it, 3 Super Bowls, 2 wins? I mean, come on.
Dude, look, a lot of people were on the Spags, you know, Fire Spags train. We never really got on that. But last year, it picked up a lot of steam.
We were actually actively on the other side of that. We were arguing with people all last season about it, if you don't remember.
Right. Matt asked, any stud wide receivers in the draft y'all got your eyes on?
Well, the dude from Florida State, there's a couple, but what's that one guy's name?
Keon Coleman?
Yes. Yeah.
Keon Coleman is one that everybody talks about. I kind of like Neighbors out of LSU. I think he's the big play guy. So we'll see. I like the kid out of Missouri too. The little guy out of Missouri. He's a little guy, and I think he's only a freshman, so I don't think he's going anywhere. But there's a few good ones. We haven't really dug into any of the draft super crazy. Like, I'll watch college football and keep an eye on people. I like the kid out of Washington. I forget his name, Romeo something. I don't know. But either way, we'll get to all that later. And by the way, Chiefs Kingdom does not like draft content. Like, we did that last year, and everybody just ignored it and hated it. They don't like talking the draft. I don't know what to do.
We're still going to do it.
I think Chiefs Kingdom is under the impression that whatever Veach decides is just the word of God, and why even question it? And we're going to love whoever he takes. And, I mean, that's a fine, valid point. But some of us still like to evaluate players and have
speculate and talk. Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
My bad. My bad. I totally clicked that at the same time.
Yeah, you stop it. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, David? He says we need to focus on running game. 2 tight end sets, take the pressure off Mahomes since the receivers can't catch. I think that's a valid point. Focus on the running game, something that me and Mike talk about all the time. They have to do it. And it's Andy though. You
Right.
you can't expect it. Like you can wish it, but you can't expect it.
Right.
When he gives Pacheco 15 plus carries game, I'm happy. And that's
Right.
where they need to be.
I was. The Chiefs run a lot of 2 tight end sets. They run a lot of 12
Hey,
personnel.
Noah Gray was the top receiver
Right.
on the team last
They
week.
run a lot of 12 personnel. Now, the thing is, they don't necessarily run out of a 12 personnel a lot. But I will say this. I was telling Steve this when we were off air, right before we come on. And I thought it was kind of a strange stat. But PFF actually said that as bad as our run game looks, as bad as it feels, the Chiefs are actually the number 10th ranked PFF rushing offense in the NFL, and they've got them graded at 80.3. That is pretty amazing. And, by the way, on that little crappy 3rd down and short play that ended up resulting in a punt, Patrick Mahomes obviously could have ran. They could have checked down to a run. He could have fell forward for 16 yards. But the thing is, after the play action, Mahomes missed Justin Watson on a backside slant. Sky Moore's guy fell down. Sky Moore could have been gone for 85 yards. He didn't throw it. Patrick Mahomes just ate it. I think he was eyeing down Kelsey, and I'm going to be completely honest. Kelsey was being double-teamed, possibly triple-teamed, and they held the crap out of him, forcing them to call it, and they're not going to call it. They wasn't going to call that.
Here's the sad truth about Travis Kelsey. Do I think he's still the best receiver in the game? Yes. Do I think he's still elite? Yes. But is he getting older and maybe losing a bit of a step? Yeah. He 100% is. He's 34 years old, and they're double teaming the crap out of him. So, I mean, it is what it is. Teams are forcing the Chiefs to beat them with someone besides Travis Kelsey. It's just all there is to
it. Samuel says, fellas, Willie Gay is going to hit free agency this year. I thought you said Willie Gay hit. I'm worried we will lose him. It's possible. Look, Willie Gay was rated one of the highest.
He's been good this year. Yeah.
Against Week 9. In Week 9 against the Dolphins, he was one of the top 10 highest rated defenders in all of football. But I will say this. Is Willie Gay, has he ever lived up to exactly what we thought we were getting out of Willie Gay?
I think he's getting there. I think he's getting there.
Right.
Yeah.
He's getting there. But if he were to say, look, I want more money and the Chiefs just can't offer it, he may go get paid somewhere because he's got a lot of talent. And do I think that we would struggle if we didn't have Willie Gay? Not necessarily. I think that you could probably draft somebody within a few years. They're going to be just as good as Willie Gay. You could probably pull somebody off the free agency market for decently cheap. So I don't think it's vital. So, yeah, what do you think, Steve? You think they could just let Willie walk? I mean, they got a lot of people to sign, man.
It's possible. Like I said, I don't think anybody's safe, per se. So
I agree.
Definitely a possibility. He hasn't been good this year, though. I have to say, he's been flying around the field looking pretty good. Right. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Daniel was one I brought up a few minutes ago.
Yeah, go ahead.
He says, hey, guys, got to ask, will Karlaftis reach 10 or more sacks?
Yes.
I think so. I don't see – there's a reason he shouldn't. I think
he's at 6 right now. I think.
He's right around it, man. I can't think off the top of my head.
I think he'll get there. Right there. He's having a year for sure. I mean, he puts himself in all the right positions and he has a high motor. So, I mean, it's going to come to him, right? It just has to. That's good work ethic and a lot of effort. It will pay off. It will pay off. Blue Laces says, wish we could have drafted tight end Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, I think a lot of us wish that. I know Brian Parrott, he really wished we could have got Dalton Kincaid. Maybe thought he was the target. But, yeah, man, he's a very good receiving tight end. Buffalo definitely got a good pick with that.
Going back to the George Karlaftis pick, did you guys know that Max Crosby leads the entire NFL in pressures? He has 40.
Sounds about right.
Did you guys know that number 2 is George Karlaftis?
Don't surprise me.
He is tied with Aiden Hutchinson, who was the number 1 pick in that draft, at 35 hurries. And he actually has 6 sacks compared to Aiden Hutchinson's 4. So he's actually right up there, if not better, in sack production numbers than the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Number 2. Don't forget about Trayvon Walker.
Right, Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker's nowhere near the top of any of these categories, by the way. But I will say, dude, Karlaftis has been a pleasant surprise, but I don't think it surprises me any to the fact that when we picked him up, he was a high character kid that loved the game. He was going to work hard. He grinds every day. He's the motor that never stops. So did it surprise you that he was going to work himself to death in the offseason and come back and get as good as he did that quick?
No, I absolutely expected it from him. You could
That's
tell.
why we loved him.
Yeah. But just the way that he was so, gung-ho with Frank Clark, like you knew that wasn't going to stop. The kid's just a worker. He's a beast. Got to love him. There's nothing that like people that don't like George Karlaftis confuse me. Like,
Right.
because he's everything that you want a football player to be. Like, he's coachable. He's likable. The work ethic, the effort, the production. Like, what are we talking about? Like, how can you not like George?
Yeah, George is a beast. By the way, if you just look at hurries, the Chiefs have
Yes, I was talking to you, JT. I was talking straight to you, buddy.
JT. Three players that the Chiefs have in the top 50 in the NFL in hurries, by the way. George Karlaftis, Chris Jones, and Mike Dana comes in at number 43 with 17 hurries. He's actually tied for 43 with 17 hurries. So how crazy is it that our boy, Mike Dana, Steve, I said Mike Dana was getting the double-digit sacks, and people laughed me out of the room. They said that's the craziest thing they've ever heard.
That's a good call, bro. Like, I wasn't doubting it. I was like, yeah, that could happen. I wouldn't have, been 100% like, oh, this is going to happen.
Was it tongue-in-cheek at the time I said it? Maybe it's slightly. But I'll say this. He's kind of George in a way. Like, he's a little undersized, but he works. I mean, he's not flashy, but he just goes and does his job. And to be honest, his win rate's not very good, and he probably shouldn't have as many good stats as he does, but he has them,
Hey,
Dana's better be lucky than good sometimes.
Dana's a beast. JT called George Karlaftis the Tim Tebow of defensive line.
I think JT's drunk.
JT
brother. Just don't like George Karlaftis.
I know. He's probably joking too.
I think him and Brian Parrott should arm wrestle, and whoever wins.
Didn't I think I tried that at the.
Okay.
I think I tried to start that at the Zarda event. I was like, "Hey, here's George Karlaftis' biggest fan, and here's somebody that doesn't like him. Y'all here meet each other."
Hey, y'all talk this out a little bit.
Good times. Good times.
I really like. I mean, I don't dislike Karlaftis. To me, the one knock on Karlaftis is that he just didn't have the elite closing speed, I guess, because they said he didn't have a good get off the line either. But honestly, I've seen much worse. And
they were calling him
does what you need.
They were calling him a one-trick pony, man. That's what it was. He's just a bull rush artist. That's what it was. They said he didn't have a big arsenal. He's fine. He's good.
Right. Well, look, Felix come out with the big arsenal, and we've seen what that's got him.
Right.
So yeah,
I see a lot of people asking about the Ravens and Browns game. Ravens are just, you can't go against them at the moment. They're hot hand. They're running the ball like they did a few years back, 200, 300-yard games and rushing.
Right.
I would pick them, but hey, those divisional games like that, you never know. It's kind of like the Broncos and Chiefs,
End the poll that says, was Felix Anudike worth a first-round pick? Let's see what won that, and then I want you to throw up a new poll.
All right. I think this ended up being a pretty close poll.
Really?
Yeah.
It is.
52% said no, he was not worth a first-round pick. 47% said yes. So,
well, let's be honest. A 32nd pick in the draft
is a second rounder. But yeah, I mean, I think you have to be on the fence there. I think it makes sense that is a close poll.
Right. Okay, look. That's the one I expected because it's been 50-50. Every time this topic comes up, people go at it. And look, I don't think you're right or wrong either way. I don't think Felix has done anything to prove himself right or wrong either way, but I think that he does deserve to get the benefit of the doubt from us that if he can have time to develop, he'll get there. I think he's got all the intangibles.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, if you're still talking about his ceiling, then yeah, maybe he's still worth the first-round pick. If you're talking about what he's done so far, then obviously not. Right?
Yeah, I hear it. Darvis. What's up, Darvis? Changes coming out the bye that y'all want to see. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't read. Changes coming out of the bye that we want to see. I want to see us sticking to the run game a lot more in the second half of the season. I feel like Pacheco needs to be getting 20 carries a game minimum.
Well, here's the thing, man. Obviously, offensive
Even
execution.
16 carries is too low.
Obviously, offensive execution is the one thing everybody wants
Yeah.
to see coming out of the bye week. And I think that that's like the catalyst for it, right? I mean, you have to be uh, establishing the run game. We always play better when our run game's going well. I think it opens up a lot more for Mahomes and the receivers. Like it can kind of hide a little bit of those shortcomings sometimes. Have to have some kind of a run game. If you get one dimensional and then your receivers aren't performing all that great, like it makes it tough, man. It makes it real tough.
Right. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, offensive execution. The defense has been. I mean, the defense. How do you ask for anything better? And the fact that we've not had Nick Bolton, who's pretty much the heart and soul,
You're
right
right.
in the middle.
Drew's
He's
been a
out a
great,
lot.
great addition. That proved to be one of the smartest signings in the offseason because
Dude.
Nick Bolton getting hurt, that could have been devastating if we didn't have Drew Tranquil.
Look, I was driving to Nashville one night, and it comes across, and it says, Brett Veach and the Chiefs agreed to a
I think I was with
deal
you.
with Drew Tranquil.
I think I was with you.
I think you were. And we looked at each other right then and there, and we said, that was a signing right there.
Yeah.
We said,
And what did we
right
say?
there is
What did
going
we
to
say?
be
If Nick Bolton were to get hurt or Willie Gay or whoever, we got our guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, hey, why? You got Nick Bolton. You've got Willie Gay. Well, it's a part of the game, man. People get injured.
While we're talking about the linebackers and we're talking about rookies from last year, what about Leo? Can we show Leo some love?
I think Leo's look good.
Leo's look damn good. And I love watching Leo come off the edge. Dude, love it.
Look. So I knew Leo got married last year. I think it was this past summer.
They had a baby?
Last year. They had a baby. I did not know that. I seen pictures of Leo's baby. Cutest, most adorable little thing I've ever seen. That's the longest baby I've ever seen in my life. That baby's got to be standing at least 4 foot tall right now.
Is it?
The longest legs you've ever seen. Like it might have just been the picture angle where he was holding her.
The funny thing about that, you're talking about
she was
this.
Adorable.
On Instagram, his wife had posted the picture of the baby when she had the baby, and it come up on the feed, on our feed, on All Chiefed Up one, and I commented, and I said, "Baby Death Row," and they both liked it.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah, so
that's pretty cool. Baby Death Row. I don't know if you want the connotation with the baby, but okay.
Hey, they both liked it. They were okay with it.
Right. Dude, I sometimes, okay, look, there's a line. Like, I don't think you should be getting into people's families, and even like people want to talk about Jackson and Brittany, and it's like, look, we don't get into that a lot. I don't care. But like sometimes I like to see like their personal lives, like the episode where they focused on Drew Tranquil and his family, and with the Chiefs thing that they did. I forget the name. But yeah, I like to see that sometimes, and I think it's
talking about the franchise,
right? But I think it's adorable when you see those guys just like the way Mahomes is. Have you seen the video where Mahomes is sitting there painting Sterling's nails at the kitchen table?
Well, it's just funny seeing a big football player be the little girl dad. That's funny.
And Sterling's getting her nails painted.
Or you see Jason Kelsey do it a lot,
right? And Brittany's like, "Is Dad doing your nails?" And she just ignores her, but she throws her a look like, "Yeah, I got him wrapped around my finger. He's doing my nails." And then she's like, "Well, what color?" And she says, "Purple." And dude, it's so funny. Even Mahomes laughs about it because it's ridiculous. But yeah, Sterling's adorable, and I think Bronze is actually an adorable baby too. To be honest, like it's fun watching them grow and staying here for a while. That's the benefit, because like we're from Kentucky, right? So our big thing is college basketball, Kentucky. And what's been the knock with Kentucky? We got those one and done players rolling over, and you can't get a bond.
I don't even know.
Like
I can't. Yeah, I don't even know who's on the team this year. I know there's a few guys that, but like I can't even remember who's who.
You don't get a bond. You don't get like you're there with the team. Like you don't feel a connection with the team. But I feel like with the Chiefs, like we do a good job of keeping people here for a little while, and you get a little bond. Like even when Juan Thornhill left or Honey Badger, like his wife and kids, like I would follow them on Instagram and stuff. Man, beautiful families, but it's like I'll still follow some of them just to see what they're doing. One of them, who was the safety we had a few years back? Not Thornhill, Amani Watts. He actually loved Star Wars so much he named his daughter Leia. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, so I'll follow her and I'm like, wonder what Leia's up to these days. Probably being a baby. That's what. But.
Gorilla Biz knows what it's all about. Go Big Blue.
Big Blue, but I tell you, Big Blue gets annoying sometimes.
Mike, some people's questioning why you were calling grown men adorable. I see that in chat.
Adorable.
You said it was adorable when Patrick Mahomes was. Never mind.
Sterling.
I know, Mike. I know what you meant.
But Patrick can be adorable too.
Hey, if he keeps winning the Super Bowls, he's the most
Look,
adorable thing I've ever seen.
the only time he's not adorable is when he won't throw the football. So throw it
Yeah.
and become adorable.
Make a decision.
Let's go. Throw it.
Yeah. But yeah, coming out of the bye week, I really hope to see some more offensive execution, man, for sure. That's the main thing. Doug, what's going on, Doug? Good to see you, my man.
Doug, what's up, brother?
He says, "Do you think Rice is like Sammy Watkins? Think he's going to get to be better?" Thoughts? I think there's some definitely like that's a good comparison in my opinion. We actually talked about that a long time ago in a video. I think we're talking about Rashee Rice is kind of Sammy Watkins esque. I think he might have a chance to be a better receiver than Sammy Watkins. And that, I'm not knocking Sammy. Sammy he's had a pretty prolific career. It was plagued with injuries, but I mean, he's been good. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I could definitely think that they're in the same vein, but I think Rice can be more than what Sammy was.
Yeah. A little bit of size difference,
Yeah.
in the players that I'm getting ready to compare. But you know who I wish he could turn into? And I mean, I'm talking like this is a very far-fetched kind of thing and probably never going to happen. It's like to even try to say he should try to compare to this guy's insane. But wouldn't it be nice if he could turn into like an Andre Johnson type wide receiver? That big body that could just run you down, block you into oblivion.
Right.
Just be nasty. Like
I think
Andre Johnson, bro. That would be beautiful.
This very, very high ceiling for Rashee Rice. Dude, the main thing I like about Rashee Rice is the explosiveness. I mean, just get him the ball, and this dude is from 0 to 100 in split second.
They say you don't have great top end speed, but boy, he gets there quick. And honestly, in this top end speed somewhere around the 4.4 mark, I mean,
yeah, it's amazing in the NFL nowadays. It's like if you don't run a 4.3, they talk about how you're not all that fast. Like, it's really, let's be honest here. If you just leave Cheetah out of the situation because he's like a special breed, 4.4 and 4.3 is not much different.
Right.
It's really not. So yeah, I think Rashee Rice is going to be a beast for sure. Gotta get them hands together. I think work on them hands a little bit, but I think that's just a lot of rookie stuff too. Being a little unsure, maybe not being confident in the playbook, not being that'll come. He'll be fine. I think he's going to be good. They just got to utilize him more. That's one thing. Can't give him 2 looks in the first quarter and a half and then never throw it to him again the whole game. That was crazy. That's
true. Matthew, what's up, brother? He says, any news on Justin Ross?
No, I think he's a goner. They actually come out with more details, and it was pretty bad.
Right. The last I'd heard is that his own mom,
grandma,
or his grandma, his grandma was actually like saying that he like put his hands on the girl.
Yeah, he's done.
He's probably in trouble. I mean, he's
probably
done.
For a guy that's been battling injuries and had that long of a road to go, that was just a very.
And to be honest,
move.
Look, if your own grandma's going to come out and say you did something wrong,
you did something wrong. You did something wrong.
So, look, he needs to man up to it, own it. But to be honest, you'd be off my football team. I wouldn't have you on there. That's up to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
they
same.
do what they want, but I wouldn't do it.
Same. I mean, honestly, like all he's been is hype.
Right.
That's
we
it.
kind of said that.
That's
we
it.
said, look, everybody wants this guy to be the next Pro Bowler, but maybe
it's
we
not
should
happening.
pump the brakes. It's hype.
Right.
The odds are low.
Yeah.
And we played into that too because that was what was getting everybody views over the summer, right? That's all.
You had to talk about it. You had to talk about it.
But you had to be realistic too.
Yeah. David says, who would ever think we would miss Juju? We did.
Brian Parrott said we'd miss Juju.
This much. We should have traded for him back because he knows the offense. The problem with Juju was his lingering knee issues.
Right.
Brett Veach wasn't willing to gamble on that, and I understand it. But yeah, we knew we were going to miss him because Juju is just like a pretty sure target. He's smart. He's very experienced to only be a 25, 26-year-old guy.
Juju knew how to work his zone too. He was a zone beater.
Right. He was a chain mover. He was literally.
He's what we don't have.
Exactly. He's exactly what we needed last year. Like to take a little off of Kels and to give Patrick Mahomes another security blanket. That is why he was so effective. Yeah, we don't have that, so of course we miss it. But I think we'll be okay.
Blue Laces. Where's Nico? Man,
That's
we
a good
love
question.
Nico Remigio. We
That's a good
love
question.
him. Look, I think he's practice squad right now. He's probably still kind of somewhat recovering from the injury. They don't really release a lot of info on players that are out of the spotlight and on the practice
Right.
squad. So who knows? He don't post a lot on social media, so I don't know. If I knew his family, I'd call him up.
Hey, we'll keep following. We'll see what Nico's up to. Mike Burton, what's up, my man? He says most great receivers aren't burners. That is 100% true. A lot of people tend to write off receivers that don't run a 4.3, 4.4. But we actually talked about this a couple weeks ago, Mike. I was looking at stats and things like that, and most of the top receivers in the game, if you set aside Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson, most of them are 4 or 5 guys coming out of the draft.
Right.
Like AJ Brown, like there's a lot of them. Like it's weird when you go back and look at it. I want to say like Michael Pittman. There was a lot. Like, so a lot of the really good receivers are not burners. That's exactly right.
Dude, Devontae Adams, I think, ran like a 4.56.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of guys that you wouldn't expect. Like a lot of big name receivers don't hit that 4.4 mark.
Dude, Larry Fitzgerald never even touched a 4.4. Yeah, you don't have to be a speedster. Now, I will say that's what Brett Veach and them love. They love speed, and it's all the Tyreek Hill effect. But I just feel like Tyreek Hill is in a league of his own, and it's going to be tough to find another Tyreek Hill.
Right. He's a freak, just straight up.
And not that in a negative connotation.
No, he's literally.
You think he's freaky?
Yeah, he said he wanted to do porn after he got done with football.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wait, that's breaking news.
No, it's not. He talked about this a month ago. He's a freaking weirdo, bro.
You
didn't listen to all that? Either way, the thing about it is, like, what was I getting ready to see? You made me lose track.
You got horned up.
No, you made me talk about cheetah porn.
Up. Hey.
Oh.
Porned and horned.
Well, I mean, like, this is the greatest receiver ever was a slow guy. And the thing about it is, like, and I say slow, like he's slow, but Jerry Rice was not slow.
Jerry Rice.
But the thing about it is, speed kills. It does. In Tyreek Hill's case, and in a few other people's case. But I mean, think about this for a second. It's more about knowing how to get open, knowing how to read defenses, knowing spots to be in. Travis Kelce is always head and shoulders above the receivers in stats and everything else.
Fast, but boy,
right. What's Kelce running? He ain't running no 4.4. I mean, come on. So, I mean, it's the same way with receivers. It's all about them big brains, baby.
Hey, I bet he run a 4.4 to get in the bedroom with old Tay-Tay.
What's up, Ray? Says, hi, Mike and Steve. What is your opinion on Marquez Callaway? Should Chiefs give him a look? He's fast.
Wasn't he the guy that played for the Saints last year and they thought he was going to have a big breakout season and just never panned out, right?
Yeah. Man, honestly, I don't care about the mid receivers no more.
What is he? Is he a free agent?
That I don't know. I do know that Martavius Bryant was reinstated to the NFL, and that would have been an intriguing look because he was pretty effective in Pittsburgh. But the Cowboys snatched him up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I see it. It's been going around that everybody's urging the Chiefs to sign Marquez Callaway. He probably pronounces it Marquez because he's not a weirdo like MVS. So, but yeah, I think that's like the new thing that's going around. Everybody should sign. I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they need another wide receiver. We've got too many as it is. I think we need to get the rotation slimmed down.
Yes.
I think that's where they start developing better.
I mean, honestly, where I'm at with it, it's like Kadarius Toney, you either use them or don't. Like, quit putting them in for 2 plays a game. Like Rashee Rice, he's got to get more looks. Sky Moore, I think you have to keep on the field. Use them in the slot more. I don't know. I think there's some things they can work on. Get it straight.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, Justin Watson's the one to be getting all the targets.
Right. Mike Burton. What's DeMarcus Robinson doing these days? I don't know. Don't care.
Actually, he's still playing. He plays for the Rams.
Yeah.
I think he plays for the Rams.
He played for the Raiders at one point, didn't he? Hey,
did he?
Dude,
yeah, he did.
If you're getting so hard up, you need to go get DeMarcus Robinson.
He was actually slightly effective in Baltimore when he was there. And then I think he's with the Rams now, if I'm not mistaken.
Look, he was a guy that kind of like had the wasn't like overly good speed, but he had a good size speed combo. He had a little bit of trouble in Florida when he was there. So we took a shot with DeMarcus, and honestly, he didn't pan out what they thought he was going to do, but he wasn't horrible either. So I don't want to say that, but yeah, he was kind of a guy that like kind of feels like would have been in this wide receiver room, at the beginning of the year that they took the shot on, and didn't really work.
Right. Yep. Well, let's take a few more, man, and then we'll probably cut on out of here tonight. Probably early when Mike's got to get to work. I'm going to keep trying to recover and all that good stuff. But I see a couple more things I wanted to talk about real quick. Gary Holland, he says, Mike and Steve, do you feel the O-line will be better towards the end of the season? I think all positions are going to be better towards the end of the season. I think with an Andy Reid-led team, you're only getting better throughout the season. So if we can peak at the right time, this team's going to be dangerous, especially with our defense being as good as they are. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody will get better. Let's hope. If you're getting worse as the season goes on, we don't need
that. Matt asked, do we cut Hardman this year? No, I don't think they will. I think they already gave up the pick, and they're going to roll with him. They've got to quit letting him either field punts or they got to do something. I've seen a lot of people saying that Dave Tobes coached him to catch the ball inside the 10-yard line. If that's the case, Dave Tobes is an idiot.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Like, just absolutely dumb. Like, McCall has literally screwed the whole team twice, like 2 weeks in a row.
Hey, as bad as that is, as bad as he's looked and as bad as some of those plays, did you know that our special team unit is ranked number 3 in the league right now?
That's why you can't get like that. That's why we have Tobe. But if he's the one telling McCall Hardman to do this, it's like, dude, go smack on Big Red. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense in my opinion. I don't know. It is what it is. Brian says, I heard Richie James asked for a trade after Miko was signed.
Well, the rumor was they were shopping Richie James.
Rumor was that Brett Veach was shopping him a little bit.
But, that don't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
They had been wanting Richie James for a while. Brett Veach liked him in the draft. They got him.
But then
he's
hurt.
actually done well. He done well in the offseason. He done well in the preseason. He did get hurt. It's just another slot receiver. How many freaking slot receivers did Brett Veach think we needed?
72 and a half.
Yeah, and they kept every one of them on the roster. So,
dude, it's crazy. I don't know what they were trying there, but
I don't. Well, look, it's obvious he can't be traded now. I don't think they cut him. I don't think that makes any sense. So, what would I like to see with Richie James? I wish he would actually get in the offense and make a difference. That's what I wish.
Yeah. Casey Fandan says, "Do you guys hear about the Big Yeti Funko Pop?" I have not, but it does not surprise me. Me and Mike are trendsetters.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is what it is.
We got to get it. Well, what's the Big Yeti Funko Pop? Are they coming out with a Kelsey one? Like what's the deal with it?
Do you know there's actually a Travis Kelce Funko Pop that's selling for quite a bit of money? I think you have it.
I have it.
You might have to sell it and let me borrow some of that money, bro. I'm tarred up over here.
I do have it. It's the one where he's wearing the beanie. It's the one where he's wearing the beanie.
Is it?
Yeah.
eBay that bad boy.
I mean, they only go for like $250, $300
for a Funko Pop.
Hey, I got to
get it while the getting's good. You might. Hey, so if you get Taylor Swift to sign it, there's no telling what you can make from it.
I'll give it to Arrowhead Addict. They'll have fun with it. I've never seen nobody fall in love with that love story in my life more. But I'll tell you this, dude, I got a Funko Pop. You know the girl off of The Mandalorian.
Can I just say something real quick?
What?
At the risk of sounding like a jerk.
What?
For everyone that's asked us, what YouTube demonetized your channel for? And we were telling you guys, they said that we reused content. If you want to know what reused content is, go to Arrowhead Addict's page and watch the shorts. And sorry if that sounds mean, but that's just dead up 100%.
That's the definition.
Yeah. So you guys can check that out, and then you'll know what we were dealing with. And,
you'll
and then
know
you
why
can,
we got demonetized.
Then you'll compare that to ours and be like, what?
Hey, you'll know why we got demonetized and then wonder why they have it. Whatever. But yeah, I've got a Funko Pop of, I think her name was Clara. What was her name? Anyways, it was off The Mandalorian. You haven't got to watch The Mandalorian, but they
I watched the
canceled
first
her off
season.
the show They canceled her off the show. Clara Dunes, I think's her name. Something I don't know, but her Funko Pop was going crazy when she got fired and canned by Disney. It becomes super rare. I ended up finding one all the way in Australia and got it. I think that thing was going for like $800, and I got it for like $40.
Nice.
Like I'm a
You're a
I'm a bargain
Funko.
hunter.
You're a Funko connoisseur.
What's that show that used to come on TV where they go around to like these old people's like basements and stuff and dig through it and then they
American
buy stuff?
Pickers.
Dude, that show was fun. I'm like an American picker, man. We should go around and pick things besides our noses. We should have we should do a pickers channel. Try to flip items. That'd be fun. We've come up with 30,000 ideas for other channels. By the way, YouTube will demonetize every one of those too.
Wait, it's these two again? Get them
These
off
two
of here.
idiots. Oh my God. Yeah. Man, I tell you, I appreciate you guys being here tonight, though. This Wednesday War Room was fun. Felt like we got to talk to people tonight. I appreciated it. We actually did a 1-hour podcast. Get ready to go live on our Patreon. So if you don't follow that, patreon.com/allchievedup. Get over there. It's $10, but you get 4 videos. You're going to get random stuff. And we're actually getting ready to start maybe a audio-only podcast.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We've just been so strapped. It's been hard to do, but we're going to definitely try to get to that.
Right. So
sure.
The audio-only podcast, we're planning on just picking random subjects and maybe not even talking Chiefs, just like BS and each
Like
other.
it'll be
for,
sprinkled in
hours.
there, but it could just be a lot of other stuff.
Right.
Too.
So yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, we appreciate you guys being here. I'm glad we got a bye week this week. I feel like we needed it. We needed it. It doesn't help. We didn't have a lot of injuries here to recover from, though. Like it would have been nice if Nick Bolton could have got back, you know, when the bye week ended. But
no, Nick Bolton gets back in action when we get back in action.
Yeah, us and Nick Bolton, man. We're in the same boat. We're in the same boat.
Nick Bolton has a better chance of actually getting back in action, though.
Hey, Nick Bolton's got people that actually listen to him. He ain't got to talk to a robot.
That's good stuff. Hey, we appreciate you guys. Like Mike said, hit that like button on your way if you haven't already.
Oh, yeah.
You and the other 2,000 people that already did that. Can you believe that?
No, it's at 1.2.
Everybody's just like loving it. All right. Hey. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Be on the lookout for more content coming up.
Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.